Hi guys, Bolts96 here, but the yo is a 0 and we are back looking at the Premier League teams. More specifically, we are looking at which players from each Premier League team could sign. And this week we are looking at Aston Villa after last week's was Arsenal. Aston Villa have had a bit of a change up this year. They've got Gerrard out and have got Unai Emery in. They are performing better, still not brilliant, but definitely a lot better. So it could be an interesting summer to see which players Unai Emery brings in and what type of style he wants to implement. So I've had a bit of fun with it. I've had a look at what players they could sign from the other Premier League teams, and I'll let you see what my thoughts are on these ones. Arsenal, Reiss Nelson. Aston Villa don't need any more wingers within the current squad, but they very feasibly could look to refresh those wings a bit. And Reiss Nelson is out of contract in the summer, and he would be a relatively risk-free option if they wanted to do that. He's young, he's got speed, he could be a decent new winger if they lower the amount of players that they currently have in the squad in those positions. Bournemouth, Ryan Fredericks. Villa will need a new right back. They currently have Matty Cash and Ashley Young, and Ashley Young, his contract is up in the summer. He's aging. They're probably not going to sign a new one with him, which will only leave Matty Cash in there. So they're going to need right back cover. They're going to need it. Fredericks, decent option. He has Premier League experience with 74 appearances since the 2018-19 season, and he would be a good foil for Matty Cash. Brentford, Thomas Strakosha. Aston Villa will need a new backup goalkeeper soon. Jed Steer is out of contract and Robin Olsen is 33, which, although isn't entirely old for a goalkeeper, it's not exactly young. They could look to improve on that. So I think Strakosha, although he may not have played a lot of football this season, he would be a really good option. He had been Lazio's starting goalkeeper for a number of years, and he would make a really good plan B. Brighton, Tariq Lamptey. Similar reasons given as with Fredericks, with the caveat that Lamptey is 8 years younger. Yes, that comes with a higher price tag, but he would be a solid option in right back or even to cover in left back if needs be. Not to mention 70 Premier League appearances worth of experience for a 22-year-old is very good. Honourable mention to Lewis Dunk, who would definitely slot into that Villa centre-back position as well. Chelsea, Armando Broja. I was going to suggest Malang Sarr, who's currently out on loan with Monaco, and he will be back in the summer. And I believe he would slot into Villa's defence nicely. However, Villa need another good option in the striking position, and Broja would be just that. Yes, they have a few strikers out on loan, but none of them are going to be pushing for that starting position too much. Selling Ings in the January window and leaving just Watkins and Duran as your main striking options was an odd call. Broja would make sure they don't make the same mistake going into the new season. Crystal Palace, Joachim Andersen. This could be a big investment for Villa, but they have proved it a number of occasions before that they aren't afraid to spend if they need to. Andersen is a solid defender who has his best years ahead of him. He would be the main man at the back for Villa, guaranteed. And he could create a really good partnership with Ezri Konsa. Everton, Ben Godfrey. First things first, I would be surprised if Everton would let him go. But if Aston Villa came in with a big offer, this is a move that could happen. Just look at the Digne signing last year. Godfrey is a really good young defender who can play across the whole back line. He would predominantly be used as a centre-back at Villa, I think, but it's good to have that option there. It's good to have that option there. Fulham, Kevin and Babu. Bit of a left field choice here, but hear me out. Villa are going to go in for right back this season, it's guaranteed, and Babu will be back from a short loan spell away and will have a point to prove after being shipped out to the Swiss League until the end of this season. Babu has 22 caps for Switzerland and has plenty of experience in league football. With his speed and coming into his prime years, he would make a class and cheap option at the back. Leeds, Joe Gelhardt. I couldn't see many Leeds players making the move over to Villa, so I went for something a bit different and picked Gelhardt. He is currently out on loan with Sunderland and isn't exactly pulling up any trees there, but he is young and looks like a nuisance whenever I've seen him play. Granted, that's not a lot, but he has impressed me to some degree with just the amount of running that he does. He did have a major involvement in Leeds staying up in those last few games last season, and he would add decent squad depth to a slim forward line. Leicester City, Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho is a good striker. Yes, he is inconsistent and will jump from scoring no goals in 5 to 5 goals in 3, but he has talent, experience, and he would elevate the striking ranks at Villa. I feel that he doesn't get as many minutes as he should do at Leicester, and if given the chance, he could become more regularly prolific for another team in the Premier League. Liverpool, Nathaniel Phillips. I have a soft spot for Phillips and it will be hard to see him go. It is a joy to see an old school defender flying in to every header and challenge, taking no nonsense whatsoever. With the lesser performances of Gomez and Matip over the past couple of months, I have actually been questioning why we haven't just given Phillips a go. What have we got to lose? It will be a shame to see him leave, but it does look like it is heading in that direction, and Aston Villa will be a good fit for him, and Phillips would be a good fit for them. He's a solid defender who wouldn't take any messing about in that back line. Manchester City, Rico Lewis. City are going to invest in a right back this summer. Walker is 32 and Cancelo doesn't want to be there, it seems. Any signing that they make will push Rico Lewis down the pecking order, opening up a loan move in the summer. Villa would be a good destination for him. Lewis will get game time, and to work with a top level manager like Unai Emery while out on loan is nothing to smirk about. Manchester United, Axel Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe is ready to move permanently away from Manchester United this summer after his latest loan expires. He was at Aston Villa for a couple of seasons. He knows the club, knows the players, and will be a solid addition to the squad without costing too much money at that. Newcastle United, Joe Willock. Good player, and I'm not convinced Newcastle would want to let him go. For that matter, I don't think centre midfield is a position that Villa need to urgently invest in either, although I would be very intrigued to see Willock and Jacob Ramsey linking up together in midfield. Two young English midfielders with bags of energy and talent, now that could be interesting. Nottingham Forest, Nico Williams. I feel like right backs have been the main topic of discussion in this one, but it is obvious that this position needs addressing in the summer. Nico Williams is a very good player who is young and already carries a wealth of experience, both internationally and at club level. Forest only picked him up in the summer, but that goes for the entire squad, realistically. They might not be willing to let him go on the cheap, but I could see this move happening, if not this summer, than the next. Southampton, Tino Livramento. And we aren't finished with those right backs, this time with Livramento. Not a lot to say on this one. He's young, homegrown, and looks to be the real deal when he plays. Unfortunately, the guy has suffered with injuries big time, and it would be a risk for any would-be suitors in this summer. But if he stays fit, if he stays free from injury, he could go big and he could definitely move on to a bigger club. Spurs, Japhet Tanganga. Tanganga just isn't getting the minutes at Spurs, which is a shame because he was seeming like he has potential when he first got into the squad. He's still young and a move away would suit him, whether that be a loan or permanent. Aston Villa would be a good candidate for both options. West Ham United, Maxwell Cornet. Aston Villa have quite an abundance of wingers and attacking midfielders, as I established before. But with Bertrand Traore not quite up to par and Coutinho not playing as well as he was, if one or two of those players leave, Cornet would be a good replacement. He's fast and he's versatile. He could cover Villa in a number of positions if he stays fit, and they wouldn't have to break the bank to get him. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Max Kilman. Finishing with a player who I really like. Kilman seems to have all the right attributes to be a success in the Premier League. Aston Villa might be a bit of a sideways move for him, but I think the chance to work under Emery, who would refine some of those attributes, it would be a difficult one to pass up. So there we have it, guys. That is who I think Aston Villa could feasibly sign from the other Premier League teams. Please do remember to like and comment down below what you thought of my picks, whether they were good, whether they were bad, whatever you think. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel and check me out on some of my other social medias. I am on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube and Twitch, which is where I do all of my streaming, all under the same handle, Bolts96, but the yo is a 0. We will be back again next week with another one of these videos, this time looking at Bournemouth, so make sure you are back for that. But for now, you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.